Welcome, Fever fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for the Fever Report with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon, reacting to the Fever's 96-80 loss at home to the Wings, their only home preseason game this season. John Robertson was there, and John, it was a loss. They were behind pretty much from the second quarter on, but I don't think there's too much reason to be concerned, right?
Nah, I was telling some of the people around me, I was like, there's no reason to stress this game at all. You could tell this game was really more about getting eyes on the second and third squads to see who they were going to keep than about winning the game. Opening quarter, they played the starters, other than obviously Lexi and Aaliyah Boston didn't start, but they ran with most of the starters, and they played pretty well. Defense was not spectacular, definitely too many open shots. But after that, you could tell that it was really about just letting the second and third squads run and see who was going to stick around. At least that was the feeling I got. No real concerns about the home opener against Dallas. The Dallas played pretty well, but I don't think they can shoot that well again. They shot lights out. And then second of all, I think the Fever are not going to take as many risky passes just to see what works.
John, I agree with you. Actually, I know the second quarter was a bad quarter, and I know they lost, but I saw some good things, and then I saw some things that I'm going to be excited about. I think I'm going to be excited about the first time this season that the Fever really need to have lockdown defensive possession, and you have Lexi and Sophie, Aaliyah, Raven Johnson, and Caitlin Clark on the floor just to do that. Raven Johnson's defense it's just incredible. She's come into the league and she's playing the defensive end of the floor like a veteran.
I had a couple of things I wanted to say specifically about Raven. Is one, I was very happy to see the crowd give her a very large welcome when she stepped on the court for the first time. I thought that was really good because all the social media warriors have been saying how it's a bad pick and how they're not going to fit together and Indiana fans are going to treat her terrible. And it was exactly the opposite of that. And I've said for a long time, if you come to the Fever and you play well, the fans will love you and the city will welcome you. And that's exactly what we saw tonight when she stepped on the court. On top of that, I agree with you, Michelle. Her defense was spectacular. She had a couple of really good steals.
Yes.
Defense was great. And her running point was really good, too. She had some really good passes. I would have liked to see her be a little more aggressive and take a couple of shots that she gave up. But that's a nitpick. That's not a big concern. I'm not worried at all. I think she's trying to find where she fits, trying to find how the offense flows. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about that she didn't take shots, other than I had her to get 5 points for a bet. But
you know what I liked? I think my favorite play of hers tonight, she had some really good ones, but my favorite one was when she messed up and turned the ball over on a pass. She hustled back, got the deflections, and forced the ball to Timpson, who went in and scored a layup. It's just great. She didn't put her head down. She didn't pout. She just recovered and hustled and made a positive play out of a negative.
She is going to be an asset for this team. I didn't really know much about her and was kind of indifferent on the draft, but I really think she's going to be good. I think she's going to be exciting to watch, and I think she's going to be an asset. That was something a big takeaway.
Sure looks that way.
As a negative, if I had to bring one, is I really was disappointed with Damaris Dantas tonight. Her shooting was awful.
She did just arrive.
Oh, that's fair, but she just kept shooting and just kept missing everything. And I was like, okay, maybe take the rest of the evening off on shooting threes. But I guess, I don't know, shoot to get out of slumps. But it was not.
I'm not dogging her because shooters have good nights. They have nights where they're cold. But Kelsey Mitchell, what bothered me tonight was I didn't think she was getting much lift on her shots, especially the step back. They were kind of flat and bouncing off the front of the rim. And I'm just hoping that leg wise and everything that she's just trying to get
I think
legs
she'll
under
get
her.
in her groove. I think Kelsey will get in her groove. Her speed was still there.
Yes.
And her cuts were there, and her handles were good. So I'm not too worried about Kelsey.
Guys, can I tell you my concern?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, not mine.
You really have a concern?
Did you not see her hop off the bench?
I'm afraid this injury is worse than they're letting on.
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so.
It's been a long time now.
But they don't. Why play her? You don't need to. Did you see the way she popped up off the bench?
That doesn't mean you're not injured.
I know, but I'm just telling you, she doesn't walk like she's injured. She doesn't look like she's injured. And
this is what happens.
But you know what? They don't need her. What they need to do is they need to get Hines-Allen and Billings comfortable with the other players. And I'm not worried about Aaliyah Boston.
She's been out a long time. She definitely needs reps, without question.
Well, she's been playing in practice, though. She's running full 5-on-5 in practice.
Yeah, she's getting reps in practice.
I'm not concerned. I understand the concern, but I think that things are fine. I've seen no signs that because Lexi's not playing either, and I don't think she's really that hurt.
But we've seen Lexi. We've seen her play. We know that how long has it been since we've seen Aaliyah Boston play? And she's been on the injury report since the Team USA.
February, but
Lexi's on the injury report.
I'm not concerned because I've seen players do that. They come and they rest them, and then when they're ready, she's going to be. I'm not concerned about Aaliyah Boston. I think she's going to be fine. Again, this also gives time for Timpson to get a lot of reps here in the preseason, and I think she's benefiting from those reps. I'm not worried about Boston. She's going to come in. She's going to be solid. I'm getting the other three. I'm like you, John. No, Stantis worries me, and right now, I would put her fifth behind Boston and Billings and Hines-Allen and Timpson. I think she's fifth when that post type player.
Well, yeah, I agreed. But back to your thing on Boston real quick, but I don't want to leave that just yet. I think you're right that they do need to let the other bigs get reps because they're going to be vitally important because we have so many guards and so not a huge number of bigs. So they need to let them get those reps. We could have another Caitlin Clark out for the whole season like last year's situation, Greg. But
I'm not that concerned.
I don't think it's that bad. I
think she might miss the opener, though. I think it's probably worse than they're saying. And otherwise, you got to get her reps. I know they're going to play one more time against an exhibition game, but players just don't roll into the regular season without playing games without serious concerns. At least the experience.
But it's a lot easier when you're Boston's age, 25, than it is when you are like a Siakam's age, and I'm just going to use him, or even a Asia Wilson type age. They're not going to roll in as easy. But when you're in your 20s, John and I, we've already made the comment. She looks more fit than she's looked. That's why I'm not worried about her, because if she didn't look as fit as she looks, I might be a little worried because she's getting some exercise. She's getting work. I think she's going to be fine. I won't be surprised if they try to limit her minutes early because it is a long season. And that's another reason I think that they want to protect her now and get those bigs the extra reps. From what they were saying, Boston is getting those reps in practice. She's out there practicing, and she's practicing with the first five. So that's why I'm not concerned.
So why not be on the floor in a game then?
Because it's silly. Because you don't need to. She doesn't need to tweak that early this year. There's nothing wrong with being cautious. We all praised it when the Pacers held Halliburton out for the whole year.
I'm just saying there's more concern than they're letting. He
probably could have come back.
I think the takeaway we need to leave people with tonight is, even though, because there's going to be a ton of social media experts who are going to crash out, and the Fever lost to Dallas, and oh my God, Paige and AZ are now the face of the WNBA. And
I'm not saying that.
No, not you, but I'm just saying there's going to be tons of people saying that online. And tonight's game, we need to just remember, pump the brakes on all the negativity. There was lots of good. There was some things they were working on that isn't the big deal, and it's going to be fine. We'll see how it goes in the season. Like that, I'm just saying, I'm prophesizing what I'm going to see when I open my Twitter feed and when I go to my room here.
You're probably right.
You know what I think you're going to see? Why didn't the Fever keep Odyssey Sims?
Dude, you know what? She's another one that got a really warm welcome from the crowd, and deservedly so.
Yes.
She deserved the warm welcome that she got. For all the people who trash Fever fans, and I'm using air quotes for people listening on the pod because they can't see it. True Fever fans who go to the games and care, like they love their players, and it's not just a Caitlin Clark love fest. Yes, we love Caitlin. When Caitlin hit that 3 at the beginning of the game, and we love it, and everybody goes, "It's wonderful." But we love the team, and we love people who have done stuff positive for the team. So even somebody who's on Dallas, Odyssey Sims, got a warm welcome for the effort she put in last year. So I think Indiana fans know ball. That's all I'm gonna say.
Best fan base in America.
Yes. And Fever stayed out on the court for the national anthem.
Which I like that. I've always appreciated that.
I think the bar is on the floor if just be out on the court for the national anthem is the bar. That's what.
Right.
Yes.
I think there's a lot to be positive for. I don't particularly care about this Nigerian national team game. Like, I don't even know if the Nigerian national team's any good. I don't know anything about them. I don't know that I'll even tune in to see the game because I just don't care that much. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just ready for the regular season to start.
Still way too long for being the last preseason game. Still 9 days away.
Well, yeah, May 9th is the first game of the year.
Guys, I think Dallas is going to be a playoff team.
They looked solid. Yeah, I think you're right, probably. I'd have to look at the rosters or everything again, but if I look at the teams, how many did they take? 8?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be close. I think they'll be close. I think they make it, but I think it's close.
You talk about lack of front court depth. Dallas got a lack of front court depth. They really do. I know Lee looked pretty good, but we didn't have Boston. If you're playing this, you normally are with, your center and everything. I just think I think Dallas could be hurt by that because Lee is okay in small bunches, but
yeah, that game's completely different with Leah in it.
Yeah, and then without her, and they won't shoot lights out like they did tonight every night out. Now I know they were missing Ariki Obalake, who gives them another weapon. It's going to be interesting. I actually thought Fudd looked okay, but to be honest, Paige is Paige, kind of like Caitlin is Caitlin. But their next impressive guard to me was Odyssey Sims. I thought she played fantastic. Now, part of that might be because she fed off some of the energy at Cambridge because having played here for the Fever during that playoff run, I'm sure she came in wanting to play well.
She looked great.
I mean, everybody wants to play well. I think she probably wanted to have a really good performance and everything tonight. And she did. She actually made me think of the Odyssey Sims that I saw play about 3-4 years ago in the league.
I was happy to be back in Cambridge. It's a great atmosphere. If anybody listening has never been, find a game and just go. Just be in the room because it's super fun. And I would say, having been to 10 different NBA arenas, I don't think anybody puts on a better event that I've seen so far than Pacers Entertainment, including the Fever. So go to a game.
Hey, John, I have one question for you real quick.
Yep.
Because we are close to 9 days away from the starting this season. Who do you think will be in the starting lineup? Who do you think she starts where?
Billings, Clark, Cunningham, Boston, Mitchell.
Okay. With Hall and Raven coming off the bench, probably the first two off the bench would be my guess.
Man, that's a good lineup.
I thought Billings played really well for the most part. She had a couple of clunkers, but for the most part, she played really well. Billings got in foul trouble early, so I don't know that she could really play the best game she could have played. I think she had 3 fouls like early in the second quarter. I think she had 3 in the first half for sure.
I think Harris is going to be a big contributor too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I have another question for you real quick, John. What was the atmosphere when Clark stayed on the ground after getting fouled on that 3-point attempt and was down because on TV, and it showed, and you could tell she was in some pain.
Yeah, she definitely was in some pain, and she walked it off pretty quick. Some of the people around me thought she was kind of just like selling it to get the flagrant. I think she was legitimately had the wind knocked out of her or something.
Oh, I do too.
But there was definitely, the crowd was booing and they cheered when they got the flagrant call, but it wasn't
did you get the feeling the crowd was like, oh, no, not again this year, nothing serious,
I don't think
please?
people realized how serious it was right away. It just looked like because I watched it happen and it looked like the one girl threw her down, but she was just on her knees for a second. But then people, when she started walking away, were kind of like the air sucked out of the building a little bit. But it was, I would say, preseason. It was an interesting mix of fans, right? You have season ticket holders who are going just because they have tickets, but there seemed like a lot more casuals there tonight who were there just to kind of be there, which is good.
That's good. The more casuals, the better.
Mm-hmm.
John, Michelle, thanks so much. We will do it again very soon. Thanks so much to John and Michelle. Thank you for listening. Please do me a huge favor. Check out my new daily podcast, the 10-Minute Report. 10 minutes every day, specifically tailored for Central Indiana sports fans. We talk Pacers, Fever, Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, high school sports, local colleges, and national sports every day on the 10-Minute Report. Only on the Central Indiana Sports Report. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.